Yo, what up? This is Senica Da Misfit and Jimmy Flight representing the mantra with Streets on Fire off that A3C Volume 3, dropping October 1st via iHipHop distribution. Yeah.
Burn them streets on fire. 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 Yeah, it's nothing to me. You looking at a boss, you looking at a dawn, you looking at the essence, ain't a question, I am raw. You looking at the future, you looking at a star, you looking at a king who even went against the odds. You looking at a poet, you looking at a preacher, you looking at the Gaza prophet booming out your speakers. You looking at Muhammad, Al Quran, Deep Da Vinci, Mona Lisa, roll the reefer in the Philly, throw your drinks up. You looking at a leader, you looking at a monster, you looking at the reaper, you looking at the mantra, you looking at a homie that ain't falling to the industry and trying to compromise and being something that he shouldn't be. You looking at an architect designing my arrival. You looking at survival. You looking at the Bible. You looking at a model tiger lines that's homicidal. You looking at the one that's going to do the impossible. Streets on fire. Burn them 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 streets on fire. Yeah, it's nothing to me. Yeah, streets on fire. Burn them 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 streets on fire. Yeah, it's nothing to me. Yeah, you looking at a soldier. You looking at the culprit. You looking at the warrior. You looking at the dopest. You looking at the seas being parted. I am Moses, supreme with the fire. I annihilate your homies. You looking at the past, dog. I'm looking at the moment. You looking at your downfall. I'm looking at to own it. You looking at your boy dropping jewels, probably diving with Poseidon, money piling, swimming in it like an ocean. Fam, you looking at forever. You looking at Martin Luther, Malcolm and Mandela. You looking at the freedom. You looking at the power. You looking at the black skin that's under my attire. You looking at a lover. You looking at a fighter. You looking at a brother. You looking at a father. You looking at a son spitting venom that's phenomenal. You looking at the one that's gonna do the impossible. Streets on fire. Burn them streets on fire.
Yo, what up? This is Senica Da Misfit and Jimmy Flight representing the mantra with Streets on Fire off that A3C Volume 3, dropping October 1st via iHipHop distribution. Yeah.
Burn them streets on fire. 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 Yeah, it's nothing to me. Yeah.